Jillian, one of the most interesting questions that that came as I read the book was this concept of the fixed world and the fluid world that you spoke about. Uh,
Mm,
how do you think this is going to affect people, their
mm,
skills, the way they work, and the workplaces of the future?
mm. Yeah, obviously, that's a big framing concept at the beginning of the book, which is what I describe as the great unraveling.
Yeah.
That a lot of the kind of norms, the conventions, the ways of operating that held us in place and told us how to behave and what was allowed and what wasn't have unraveled for better or for worse. Many of us are experiencing this as a time of freedom, a time of liberation. You know, I get to do or be more than, for instance, my parents could. For others, it's a very unsettling and confusing time where, you know, we don't know what right or wrong is anymore. We don't know what's normal and what isn't normal. So I think we are living through that. We have been for some time, and as I describe in the book, I think it places tremendous opportunity and tremendous pressure on the individual. So we used to be able to look externally for guidance. There were a few fixed paths that we were told to follow, and we largely did because we were rewarded for doing so. If we think about our personal identities, our sense of, if you take leadership, for example, there was sort of an agreed understanding of what that function looked like, and now it's much more complex. So we are all navigating sort of a broadening of our identities and what's possible within them. Tremendous amount of choice, which, as I say in the book, we love when it comes to our coffee. We might be a little bit more overwhelmed when it comes to our own identity. And we're overwhelmed with opinions and ideas about, you know, what the right thing is, what the right way is. And I mean, that's true whether you're a leader, whether you're a parent, whether you're a young person. Some of the beliefs and the instructions, if you will, that we used to hold firmly to about how to behave are now up for grabs. So, you know, people are now trying to decide whether university is a worthwhile investment. That was not a conversation we were having even 10 years ago. So I think what it's doing is opening up a lot of possibility for us to potentially create far more fulfilling paths, explore a much wider range of our own capabilities. But it's also requiring us to lean in far more to our own agency, to make those choices, to decide for ourselves in a way that we didn't have to in the very recent past. So, you know, that fluidity is requiring a degree of adaptability. And quite frankly, we haven't been raised to be adaptive people. We've been raised to cherish the status quo and to avoid change. I wouldn't say at all costs, but you know, to treat change as a have to do rather than a want to do. So, yeah, I think it's presenting amazing opportunities for us, and it's also requiring us to become far more adaptive than we ever have been.